Hello there, this is Nightline and I'm Nadia Azmi. Here are the top stories. Prime Minister orders freeze on all military and police procurement approvals. And UMNO remains committed to unity government for political stability and nation's well-being. Good morning. All procurement contract approvals involving the Malaysian Armed Forces MAF and the police have been frozen. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim emphasised that the move is aimed at ensuring all procurement processes are conducted in accordance with regulations and remain free from any elements of corruption. According to Anwar, the overall restructuring of procurement procedures by the relevant ministries is intended to ensure full transparency and strict compliance with established protocols.
Kita ambil perhatian, saya akan tunggu laporan apakah ada berperlompongan kelemahan dalam sistem perolehan yang ada. Untuk sementara waktu membekukan semua kelulusan perolehan tentera atau polis atau mana-mana sehingga kita pastikan proses itu dipatuhi sepenuhnya.
He said this to reporters after performing Friday prayers at a mosque in Wangsa Maju, Kuala Lumpur. Anwar made it clear that the government will not interfere in the investigation being conducted by the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission MACC. However, he stressed that decisive and comprehensive action must be taken as any leakages could have a detrimental impact on the nation's economy and its people. The MAF has recently come under scrutiny over allegations of corruption and abuse of power among senior officers, particularly concerning military procurement projects and tenders. Following this, Defence Minister Datuk Seri Muhammad Khalid announced a major revamp of the ministry's anti-corruption plan for this year to address issues that have arisen within the armed forces. On Thursday, MACC Chief Commissioner Tan Sri Azam Baki confirmed that at least 2 high-ranking MAF officers are expected to be brought to court next week in connection with large-scale and serious corruption cases involving tenders and procurement. Meanwhile, the Defence Minister, when contacted, said a comprehensive review will be carried out following the Prime Minister's directive to temporarily freeze the relevant procurement contract approvals.
Ini sangat penting kerana Kementerian perlu pastikan dalam kita akur kepada keputusan dan melaksanakan keputusan itu, ia tidak menjejaskan tahap kesiapsiagaan dan juga operasi yang sedang dilaksanakan oleh ketiga-tiga perkhidmatan dalam soal untuk menjaga kedaulatan dan keselamatan negara.
Similarly, the police have also vowed to uphold integrity, transparency and professionalism in all procurement processes, adhering to the principles of good governance following Anwar's directive to immediately freeze approvals. In a statement, Inspector General of Police Datuk Seri Muhammad Khalid Ismail said the move aims to restore integrity and ensure full transparency and compliance with established procedures. He also said that the police would carry out all necessary actions in line with the law, government policies and directives to protect public interest and maintain confidence in the nation's security institutions. UMNO has reiterated its unwavering support for the unity government and is committed to upholding the principles and agreements that ensure political stability and the nation's well-being. Deputy Prime Minister and UMNO President Datuk Seri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi emphasised that the party's loyalty will remain as long as the nation's foundational values are respected and no acts of betrayal occur. Zahid, when delivering his policy speech at the party's 2025 General Assembly on Friday, said that UMNO's leadership takes a stance prioritising the country's interests and the welfare of the people. He explained that the decision to join the administration was driven not by a pursuit of power, but by a sense of duty to uphold the Yang di-Pertuan Agong's decree and end the political uncertainty following the 15th general election. This approach transcends narrow political considerations despite pressures for UMNO to withdraw from the government.
Memang ada tawaran yang terhidang. Memang ada yang datang berisik. Memang ada yang datang cuba-cuba meminang. Namun sehingga ke hari ini UMNO tetap melaksanakan amanah negara dan mendukung kerajaan perpaduan.
Zahid also stressed that the coalition formed over the past 38 months must continue to operate with sincerity and good faith. Meanwhile, Zahid announced the formation of the Jawatan Kuasa Penyatuan Rumah Bangsa, a committee tasked with facilitating the return of former UMNO leaders and members to the party. Zahid said the committee will review applications for rejoining the party, whether individually or as a group. He also noted that previous attempts to unify Malay-based parties under a single umbrella without UMNO had consistently failed to gain traction.
UMNO adalah rumah buat semua bertaut kembali. Saat ada yang hilang arah, saat ada yang semakin rebah, kembalilah. Pak kata pepatah, sesat di ujung jalan, kembali ke jalan.
Now, Zahid also revealed that the next UMNO party polls, originally scheduled for this year, will now be held only after the 16th general election.
Kita ada tempoh 18 bulan. Ya. Kita telah perlembagaan UMNO telah dibina, iaitu selepas 18 bulan daripada tarikh akhir tahun pemilihan atau selepas pilihan raya, mana-mana yang datang dulu.
He told reporters this after witnessing the signing of the Memoranda of Understanding and Cooperation between several government agencies at the Women in Halal Industry Agri-Commodities Expo 2026 held at the World Trade Center, Kuala Lumpur. Also present were Investment, Trade and Industry Minister Datuk Sri Johari Abdul Ghani and Plantation Commodities Minister Datuk Sri Noraini Ahmad. In another development, the motion for Malay unity is seen as bringing new hope to UMNO. Johari, who is also UMNO Vice President, said the motion must be successfully carried out to open a new chapter of thinking, ensuring the continued relevance and sustainability of the Malay Party.
Mana-mana orang Melayu, kalau mahu bersama UMNO, kita akan mencari perubahan baru dalam UMNO. Dengan mengambil kira bahawa negara ini telah merdeka 68 tahun, maka expectation rakyat Melayu khususnya telah banyak berubah.
He added that UMNO must be open to the reality of changing mindsets within the Malay community, particularly among the younger generation who now shape the future of the country's politics. The Royal Malaysian Air Force has completed its internal investigation into allegations of misconduct at one of its bases involving 21 of its officers. Air Force Chief General Datuk Sri Muhammad Nur Azlan Aris said the investigation report will be referred to the RMAF legal branch for further action.
Kiranya dapat disahihkan terdapat salah laku yang mana saya pasti memang agak jelas, maka tindakan selanjutnya pegawai-pegawai tersebut akan dihadapkan ke pengadilan untuk dibicarakan.
The 21 officers from the Subang Air Base were investigated for various alleged offences, while authorities also extended the probe to determine whether other bases or units were involved. So far, there have been no reports linking similar misconduct to other Air Force bases or units. The issue emerged following a Defence Ministry order for an immediate internal investigation into allegations circulating on social media that entertainment sessions were being held at military camps. The Kuala Lumpur Sessions Court has acquitted and discharged the late Datuk Sri Bung Mukhtar Radin of corruption charges involving 2.8 million ringgit. The decision followed confirmation from the prosecution that it would not proceed with the case following the politician's death on December 5th. The court subsequently ordered the return of 100,000 ringgit in bail money along with his passport. Bung Mukhtar, who was also a former non-executive chairman of Velcro, had been facing 3 corruption charges linked to a 150 million ringgit investment in public mutual unit trusts, allegedly committed in June 2015. In a related development, the prosecution informed the court that the Attorney General's chambers had rejected a representation by Bung Mukhtar's widow, Datin Sri Zizi Izzat Abdul Samad, to withdraw the abetment charges she is currently facing. The court has fixed March 5th, 6th and 12th for the defence to present its case. A team believed to be from the Perak Wildlife and National Parks Department, Buletin, experienced a tense encounter when a tiger began stalking them in Timur Perak. They all escaped unharmed, reaching their pickup truck just in time as the predator drew near.
Edul! Hey! Imbau! Mohon, pergi kat kereta. Cepat, naik kereta.
A viral video captured the tiger appearing while the group was in an open area conducting a patrol in response to reports of the animal in a durian orchard in Bukit Kinding. The tiger immediately began stalking them as they scrambled to reach safety. All personnel stayed composed and swiftly sought shelter in their pickup truck. The tiger is believed to be linked to a 2-year-old male tiger weighing 75 kilograms that was recently trapped by Buletin in Bukit Kinding last Sunday and has since been sent to the National Wildlife Rescue Centre in Sungkai. Malaysia's economy closed last year on a stronger footing, expanding by 5.7% in the fourth quarter. According to the Department of Statistics Malaysia, DOSIM, this marks the strongest quarterly growth since the second quarter of 2024, underscoring continued economic momentum. In its advanced GDP estimates, DOSIM said the upbeat performance reflects a continued recovery across key sectors, even as the country navigates a challenging and uncertain global environment. DOSIM said that for 2025 as a whole, Malaysia's economy is expected to grow 4.9%, approaching the 5.1% growth in 2024. The forecast also comes in above Bank Negara Malaysia's official projection of between 4 and 4.8% for this year. A more detailed breakdown of economic performance for the quarter is scheduled to be released on February 13th. Malaysia is adopting a new investment-led strategy to strengthen national food security, with the Agriculture and Food Security Ministry taking the lead. The strategy, described as a reverse investment approach, will see the government undertaking crop cultivation and livestock farming overseas to be imported back into Malaysia to safeguard the supply of critical food commodities.
Reverse investment bukan bertujuan menggantikan petani tempatan. Sebaliknya berfungsi sebagai strategic buffer bagi menggantikan kestabilan rantaian bekalan ketika berlakunya kejutan luar jangka. Setiap pelaburan dan dilaksanakan secara berfasa, berhemah dan berpaksikan kepentingan nasional.
The strategy will involve GLCs and GLICs as strategic partners to build national stakes in the supply chain. Muhammad Sabu added that the approach will target key sectors, including ruminants such as cattle, rice and milk, as well as domestic seed and livestock breeding programs, which he noted as being indispensable components of the nation's food security that cannot be left vulnerable to global supply disruptions. At the same time, the ministry is strengthening domestic investment through 5 strategic focus areas, including agriculture, aquaculture, grain corn cultivation, and pineapple farming expansion. Teen accused of schoolmate's murder, fit to stand trial. This and more from the local front after this break. Don't go away.
Wanita penuh tempo, penuh cerita. Inilah Nona, inspirasi bertemu realiti. Setiap warna mempunyai keupayaan membangkitkan pelbagai mood dan emosi. Semoga istirahat anda memberi makna yang indah walau tempohnya hanya seketika. Dan terus setia sejam bersama kami kerana Nona, inspirasi wanita untuk semua. Nona di TV3 dan stream ditonton.
Masuk dalam tu mesti kadang-kadang kita terpijak dan nipah. Masuk dalam bukan senanglah nak cari macam tu lah.
Daerah Mekah ini memang istimewa lah. Memang itu memang cukup nyaman lah.
Memang minat, memang terlalu sedap lah.
Dari hasilan itu kita tengok dari mulung juga, saiz dia. Mulung ni bukan semua sama, tidak.
Kalau tak pakai pelur api tak jadi sagu. Hancur, mengeras dia lamantak.
Hai kawan-kawan, pernah tak rasa tak selesa bila ada orang cuba sentuh badan kita? Kawan-kawan ingat tahu badan kita ni milik kita. Kalau ada orang sentuh tapi izin, korang cakap tidak. Lepas tu korang bagi tahu ibu bapa ataupun cikgu ataupun kakak dan abang, okey?
Betul tu. Ingat, tak ada orang yang boleh buat kita rasa takut dan tak selesa. Kita berhak rasa selamat dan dilindungi.
Seorang pencuci kereta dihadapkan ke Mahkamah Magistrate Temerloh atas pertuduhan membunuh sepupunya dengan menggunakan pisau dan gunting bulan lalu.
Dia mendengar suara-suara gaib yang menyuruhnya, bunuh dia, bunuh dia, bunuh dia. Saksi-saksi ni dah sampai tiba di rumah ni, sebenarnya si mati ni masih lagi menyawa.
Mana dia sampai tahap mengugut, kau bunuh awak satu hari esok dia tu.
Welcome back. The 15-year-old boy charged with murdering his schoolmate at a school in Bandar Utama in October last year has been declared fit to stand trial and able to mount his defence after completing a psychiatric assessment at Hospital Bahagia Ulu Kinta. The accused's lawyer, Kitson Fung, told reporters of the development after case mention before Magistrate Amira Sariati Zainal on Friday. The magistrate then fixed February 6 for next mention of the case. The accused was being held at the Punca Alam Correctional Centre, where the court ordered that all prescribed medication be administered daily at specific times and for the treatment to continue without interruption. The court also ordered that the accused continue attending monthly counselling and therapy sessions. The teenager was accused of fatally stabbing his 16-year-old schoolmate in the girls' toilet of the school on October 14th last year. He was charged with murder under Section 302 of the Penal Code. Police have confirmed that a married couple who were found dead in their Sri Aman home on Wednesday died as a result of multiple stab wounds. Sarawak Police Commissioner Datuk Muhammad Zainal Abdullah said post-mortem examinations completed on Thursday showed the male victim sustained 11 injuries from a sharp object to his neck and chest, while the woman had similar wounds to her neck.
Proses bedah siasat telah pun selesai dijalankan semalam dan telah ditentukan sebab kematian oleh patologi iaitu neck and chest injuries due to stab wound.
So far, 21 witnesses, including family members, neighbours and co-workers, have had their statements recorded. On Wednesday, 45-year-old Andy Roy Junran, a headmaster at a school in Lubo Antu, and his wife, 44-year-old Angeline Kibin, a nurse, were found dead at their home in Taman Mutiara Sri Aman. The bodies were discovered by one of their 3 children. Police are investigating the case under Section 302 of the Penal Code for murder, with the motive still under probe. The mother of a 10-year-old boy who was found hungry and terrified in Nilai, Negeri Sembilan has been charged at the Seremban Sessions Court with neglecting her child. 30-year-old Dayang Norshida pleaded not guilty after the charge was read out to her before Judge Datin Surita Budin on Friday. The accused is alleged to have neglected her son in a manner likely to have caused him physical injury at an apartment in Desa Palma, Nightline between September last year and January. The charge under the Child Act carries a fine of up to 50,000 ringgit, a maximum 20-year jail term, or both. Authorities are currently verifying the woman's status as the child's birth certificate indicates that she is a Filipino national. The court denied bail and fixed February 23rd for case mentioned. In the magistrate's court, her boyfriend, 22-year-old Masran, pleaded not guilty to causing injury to the same victim at the same location on January 6. He was charged under the Penal Code, which provides for a maximum 1-year jail term, a 2,000 ringgit fine, or both. The bar worker was also charged with possession of obscene video material. He was granted bail of 1,000 ringgit, with the case scheduled for mention on February 16th. Earlier, the boy was found hungry and visibly distressed outside a convenience store by a food delivery rider. Checks later revealed injuries on his body, believed to have been caused by abuse. A doctor from a private clinic in Johor Bahru has been charged in 2 separate magistrates' courts on Friday with the murder of his wife and 5-year-old son last month. No plea was recorded as murder cases fall under the jurisdiction of the High Court. 34-year-old Dr. Chia Tong Hong indicated that he understood the charges read before the magistrate. He is accused of killing his wife, 37-year-old Pun Lai Ling, and their son, 5-year-old Eden Chia Yi Heng, at a house in Bandar Dato' On between 9:50 p.m. and 10:34 p.m. on December 30th. In the same court, Chia pleaded not guilty to a charge of obstructing a police officer by moving his son's body during the investigation. During a separate proceeding before another magistrate, Chia pleaded not guilty to a charge of disposing of his wife's artificial fingernails to evade legal consequences. No bail was granted due to the serious nature of the murder charges. Both courts set March 17th for mention, pending post-mortem, DNA, chemical, forensic and toxicology reports. Previous media reports had stated that a woman who worked as an accountant was found dead with slash wounds to her neck, while her son was discovered with bluish discoloration on his face, believed to have been caused by suffocation. A knife, a pillow and a pillowcase were also seized during the man's arrest. South Korean ex-leader jailed for 5 years. The details when Nightline returns.
Tanyalah Ustaz minggu ini, Isnin 5 wasiat Muslim, Selasa fiqh muamalat riba, Rabu Khaybar ya Yahud, Khamis Talhah bin Ubaidillah, Jumaat Mi'raj antara logik dan iman, Sabtu Rahlah Ketuhanan, Ahad sebaik-baik ibadah. Tanyalah Ustaz biar tahu jangan keliru di TV3 dan TV9. Stream juga melalui Tonton.
Wanita penuh tempo, penuh cerita. Inilah Nona, inspirasi bertemu realiti. Setiap warna mempunyai keupayaan membangkitkan pelbagai mood dan emosi. Semoga istirahat anda memberi makna yang indah walau tempohnya hanya seketika. Dan terus setia sejam bersama kami kerana Nona, inspirasi wanita untuk semua. Nona di TV3 dan stream ditonton.
Seorang pencuci kereta dihadapkan ke Mahkamah Magistrate Temerloh atas pertuduhan membunuh sepupunya dengan menggunakan pisau dan gunting bulan lalu.
Dia mendengar suara-suara gaib yang menyuruhnya, bunuh dia, bunuh dia, bunuh dia.
Saksi-saksi ni dah sampai tiba di rumah ni, sebenarnya si mati ni masih lagi menyawa.
Mana dia sampai tahap mengugut, kau bunuh awak satu hari esok dia tu.
Netizen.
Okey, panas guys.
Kenapa
panas?
Bersangka buruk dia dah baik.
Kutuk-kutuk depan sini. Duduk di kongkong tu.
Ya.
Jangan main fitnah je netizen.
Tak saya yang marah, orang lain yang marah kan?
Gaduh.
Tak, bukan.
Panas. Wah, Jangan lupa saksikan Melodi setiap hari Khamis pukul 9 malam di TV3.
Dan stream juga kali tonton.
News from the foreign front. South Korea's impeached former president Yoon Suk-yeol has been sentenced to 5 years in jail on Friday after being found guilty over his declaration of martial law in December 2024.
Seoul's Central District Court found Yoon guilty of charges that include obstructing authorities from executing an arrest warrant related to his martial law declaration, as well as fabricating official documents and failing to comply with the legal process required to impose martial law. Judge Baek Dae-hyun said Yoon had failed to uphold the constitution and the rule of law and added that the former president now has 7 days to appeal the verdict. The court's ruling is the first in a series of criminal cases against Yoon over his brief 6-hour attempt to impose martial law, which sent shockwaves through South Korea. It is also expected to influence next month's verdict on charges that he led an insurrection through the same short-lived decree.
Thailand's Transport Ministry on Friday ordered a 15-day halt on 14 Italian-Thai development PCL construction projects to conduct safety inspections following 2 fatal accidents this week. Deputy Permanent Secretary of the Transport Ministry, Chirapong Tapitak, said halting the firm's projects would allow expert teams to conduct thorough inspections to ensure safety standards are met. He also ordered other major Transport Ministry construction projects to pause for up to 15 days for similar inspections, with the results to be submitted to the ministry and legal or regulatory action taken if necessary. The decision follows a train derailing that killed 32 passengers in northeastern Nakhon Ratchasima on Wednesday and the death of 2 drivers when their vehicles were crushed near Bangkok a day later, with both incidents caused by the collapse of cranes used on projects involving Italian-Thai development. Hundreds of people fled a suspected Cambodian cyber fraud centre on Thursday after the country's most wanted alleged scam kingpin was arrested and deported, triggering an exodus from the Amber Casino in the coastal city of Sihanoukville, one of the illicit trade's most notorious hubs. Workers said Cambodia has become unstable and is no longer a safe place to work, citing the authorities' intensified crackdown on illegal activities. Similar incidents have been reported in other areas, although residents say many syndicate workers had already relocated. The latest campaign follows the arrest of Chinese national Chen Ji, a former casino hotel operator and internationally blacklisted figure who was later extradited to Beijing. Sihanoukville is a known hub for digital scams, with thousands operating from heavily guarded buildings. U.S. President Donald Trump on Thursday announced the formation of a Gaza Board of Peace, a key Phase 2 element of a U.S.-backed plan to end the war in the Palestinian territory. Trump said on his Truth Social platform that members of the board will be revealed shortly. The plan includes deploying an international stabilization force to secure Gaza and train vetted Palestinian police units. The board's creation follows the announcement of a 15-member Palestinian technocratic committee tasked with managing day-to-day governance in post-war Gaza. The committee will operate under the supervision of the Board of Peace, which Trump is expected to chair. Turning to sports, badminton, the 2026 India Open. Malaysia's men's and women's doubles pairs, Aaron Chia Soe-Wee-Yik and Buletin Mdina, displayed full confidence as they secured their spots in the semi-finals of the Super 750 tournament in New Delhi on Friday.
World number 2 Aaron and Wei Ying had little trouble defeating 9th-ranked Taiwanese duo Li Jiehui and Yang Po Swan 21-19, 21-14, marking the 6th straight win against the pair. They will take on Japan's Hiroki Midori Kawa and Kyohei Yamashita for a spot in the final. Earlier, Pearly and Dina dominated Taiwan's Xie Pei Shan and Hung En-su, winning 21-16, 21-10 in just 32 minutes. The world number 2 women's doubles pair will now take on top Japanese duo Yuki Fukushima and Mayu Matsumoto in the semi-finals. Meanwhile, the national mixed doubles challenge ended in the quarter-finals as Malaysia's sole representatives Goh Soon Huat and Siobhan Lai fell 19-21, 21-19, 18-21 to China's world number 1 pair Fang Yangjie and Huang Dongping.
And that concludes Nightline this time around. Before we leave, let's take a look at scenes of the sunset in Nuuk, the capital of Greenland, where the evening light transforms the city's landscape. With that, I'm Nadia Azmi. Thank you for watching and have a great weekend.